With just 8 minutes of prayer, the power of prayer will appear. As a parent, nothing tugs at your soul quite like seeing your child sick. Their flushed cheeks, tired eyes, or weak whimpers can unravel you in ways you never imagined. It's not just the physical symptoms that weigh on you. It's the flood of emotions, worry that gnaws at your peace, fear that whispers worst-case scenarios, and a helplessness that makes you feel small against the vastness of the unknown. I've been there, pacing the floor at midnight, wondering if the fever will break or if I'm doing enough. Maybe you have too. In those moments, we're desperate for something, anything, to ease the ache in our hearts and bring relief to our little ones. That's where prayer comes in. It's not a magic fix or a replacement for a doctor's care, but it's a lifeline, a quiet, powerful way to find strength when you're running on empty. Picture this. Your child's been coughing all night, and you're sitting by their bed, exhausted. You've tried medicine, cool cloths, everything you can think of. Then you close your eyes and whisper a prayer. Suddenly there's a shift, not always in the sickness itself, but in you. A calm washes over, like a soft hand resting on your shoulder. That's the gift prayer offers, a chance to breathe, to hope, and to lean on something bigger than yourself. This isn't about being perfect or having all the right words. It's about showing up as you are, scared, tired, human, and trusting that you're heard. For me, prayer became a refuge when my daughter caught a stubborn flu last winter. I felt powerless watching her shiver under blankets, but turning to God gave me a sense of purpose amid the chaos. It's not just for the big crises either. Even a stomach bug or a scraped knee can be a chance to pause and pray. Over time, I've learned that these moments don't just comfort my kids, they heal me too, stitching up the frayed edges of my worried heart. Think of prayer as a conversation with a friend who never leaves your side. You don't need fancy phrases or a theology degree, just your voice, raw and real. In the next sections, we'll walk through how to make this work for you, creating a space, opening your heart, trusting the process, and leaning on others. It's simpler than you might think, and even 8 minutes can change everything. So, let's explore how prayer can hold you together when your child's health pulls you apart. Creating a sacred space for prayer. When your child is sick, your home can feel like a storm, chaos swirling with every cough or cry. Finding a quiet corner to pray might seem impossible, but it's worth it. This isn't about building a cathedral. It's about carving out a small oasis where you can catch your breath and connect with God. I've found that even a cluttered living room can transform with intention. One night, when my son had a fever that wouldn't quit, I pushed aside the toys, lit a dollar store candle, and sat on the couch with a blanket. That was my sanctuary. Start by picking a spot that feels safe to you. Maybe it's the rocking chair where you've soothed your baby to sleep, or a sunny patch by the window where you can hear the birds. It doesn't have to be silent. Life with kids rarely is, but it should be yours. If you're like me, little touches help. A warm mug of tea, a playlist of gentle hymns, or even a photo of your child smiling on better days. These aren't requirements. They're invitations to slow down. Once I prayed in my car in the driveway, rain tapping the roof, because it was the only place the chaos couldn't follow me. It worked. Now, breathe. I mean it. Really breathe. When my daughter was up all night with an earache, I was a mess, my mind racing with what-ifs. Then I sat down, closed my eyes, and took 5 slow breaths. Inhale deep, like you're pulling in peace. Exhale long, like you're letting go of fear. It's not a cure, but it's a reset. Your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, and suddenly you're not just a worried parent. You're a person reaching out to a God who sees you. This space isn't about escaping reality. It's about facing it with clarity. You might picture your child as you breathe, those little hands you've held 1,000 times, that laugh you'd know anywhere. Let that image anchor you. For me, setting up this moment feels like building a bridge between my tangled thoughts and God's steady presence. It's not always pretty or perfect, but it's real. And in that realness, you'll find a peace that doesn't depend on the thermometer reading. So find your spot, take your breath, and step into prayer, knowing you're not alone. Opening your heart in prayer. Prayer isn't about saying the right thing. It's about letting your heart spill out, messy and true. When your child's sick, you've got a million feelings swirling inside. Fear that grips your chest, love that aches to fix everything, hope that flickers like a candle in the wind. God doesn't need you to polish those up. He's not waiting for a script. He just wants you to show up. I remember the first time I prayed like this. My son had a rash that wouldn't fade, and I was terrified. I didn't know what to say, so I just started, God, I'm scared. Help him. Help me. That was enough. Begin with thanks. It sounds odd when you're worried sick, but it works. Thank God for your child, the way they light up your days, the quirks that make them yours. I'll say thank you for my girl's goofy giggle, for how she hugs me tight. It's not ignoring the pain, it's remembering the good that's still there. Gratitude doesn't erase the fever, but it lifts your eyes above it, reminding you of the bigger picture. One rainy afternoon, when my toddler was down with a cold, I thanked God for the way he still smiled through his sniffles. It softened my heart. Then, pour out the hard stuff. Tell God exactly what's breaking you. I'm freaking out because she's not eating. I don't know if I can handle this. There's no judgment here. He gets it. I've cried through prayers, voice cracking, and felt lighter after. You might ask for healing, for wisdom, for strength to make it through the night. Be specific if you want. Please bring his fever down by morning, or keep it simple, hold us close. The words don't matter as much as the honesty. Now picture it. Close your eyes and see your child wrapped in warmth, glowing with health. When my daughter was wheezing last spring, I imagined her running through the yard again, chasing butterflies. It's not wishful thinking, it's faith with a face. You're not forcing an outcome, you're trusting God's love to surround them. This part can feel vulnerable, but it's powerful. It's you and God together, dreaming of better days. Finish by resting in that image, letting it settle in your soul. You've opened your heart. Now let him hold it. Trusting in God's plan. Here's the tough part. You can't always see what's coming. When your child's sick, you want answers now. Why this? Why them? When will it end? I've sat by my son's crib, watching him sleep fitfully, begging God for a quick fix. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't. Trusting God's plan isn't about getting what you want when you want it. It's about believing He's weaving something good, even when the threads look tangled. That's hard, but it's also freeing. Think of it like a road trip with a GPS you can't fully read. You know the destination, your child's health, your family's peace, but the route's a mystery. God's driving, though, and He's never lost. I learned this when my daughter's stomach bug stretched into a week. I was frustrated, exhausted, asking, why isn't she better? Then one night, praying, I felt this quiet nudge. Let go. Not of hope, but of my grip on the timeline. She did heal, slowly, on her own rhythm, and I realized God was there in the waiting, not just the winning. This trust doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. You still call the pediatrician, measure out the medicine, cuddle them close. Prayer's your partner, not your only plan. But it shifts your focus. Instead of obsessing over every symptom, you lean into God's love, a love that doesn't waver when the fever spikes. I've found peace in small surrenders. Okay, God, I don't get it, but I trust you. It's like handing over a heavy bag you've carried too long. Reflect on this. Every parent in history has faced moments like yours, and God's carried them through. Your child's story isn't finished. So as you pray, release the need to control it all. Picture God's hands holding your little one, guiding you both. It's not a promise of instant miracles, but of steady presence. That's enough to keep you going, one breath, one prayer at a time. The healing power of community. You don't have to face this alone. When your child's sick, it's easy to retreat inward, but reaching out can lift you up. Your people, family, friends, your church can be a lifeline. I'll never forget when my son had bronchitis and I texted my mom's group chat, "Pray for us." Within minutes, replies poured in. "Lifting him up now, God's got this." It was like a warm blanket on a cold night. Their prayers didn't just cover my boy, they held me too. Start small. Tell someone you trust, "Hey, she's sick and I'm struggling, can you pray?" Or post it online if that's your circle. You'd be amazed how many want to help. Last fall, a friend's daughter was in the hospital and she asked our Bible study to pray. We did, together, aloud over coffee, and she said later it felt like a wave of strength hit her. Collective prayer isn't just words, it's power, a chorus of hope rising for your child. This builds something beautiful, connection. You share your story, they share theirs. Suddenly, you're not the only one who sat up all night with a sick kid. My neighbor once told me how she prayed her son through pneumonia, and it reminded me I wasn't alone. Swap stories, cry together, laugh at the chaos. It knits you into a web of care. And when they pray for you, it's like they're standing beside you in the dark, holding a light. Don't be shy to ask. People want to love you through this. Let them. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Your child's healing might come through medicine, rest, and a dozen whispered prayers from those who've got your back. You're stronger together, and God works through that too. Conclusion. Embracing hope through faith. Prayer's a gift you unwrap in the hardest moments. When your child's sick, it's not just about their body healing, it's about your spirit finding rest. It's you, raw and real, reaching for God and finding He's already there. I've seen it in my own life. Those 8 minutes of prayer don't always change the sickness, but they always change me. They remind me of a love that's bigger than fevers, a hope that outlasts fear, a strength I didn't know I had. Next time worry creeps in, try it. Sit, breathe, pray. Thank God for your child. Spill your fears, picture them whole. Trust He's listening. Invite others in too. Let their prayers wrap around you like a hug. Every word you speak, every tear you shed matters. It's a step toward peace, a bridge to healing, for them, for you. You're not just a parent in crisis, you're a soul held by grace. And that's a story worth telling. After watching, remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I have many good videos to share. Learn to give, and God will give you peace.